When you were younger, did you ever have thoughts of like, okay, if there was a zombie apocalypse and I was the last person alive on Earth, what would I do? Have you ever had that inner dialogue? Well, when I asked myself that question, the first thing I would honestly do is I would run to every New Age store and look at all the tarot decks. Literally, my fantasy as a kid was to be able to just jump at any New Age store, Barnes & Noble, Earth Spirit, where I grew up, anywhere, and just rip through all the decks and look at all the cards. Like, that was my ultimate fantasy. And ooh, it's such a good one. Over the past couple of years, I kind of chilled out on buying decks, and ironically started to get a lot of decks gifted to me, and they're beautiful. Like, I've really connected with them. So I think almost all the decks I talk about today were either gifted or given to me or something like that. But yeah, I'm going to talk about them. They're in no particular order. First, I want to go through the two decks that I use all the time, and y'all know if you follow any of my shit that Thoth deck all the way. That's just home base for me. It's what I use for my clients almost all the time. It's what I use a lot online. It's what I use for myself. I just use it for everything. This is Daddy Thoth. He's been with me a long time. Let's see. He's been with me at least 15 years. If not longer, probably more. But yeah, he's been through a lot, but he's like, look at him. Look how well he's aging, right? And I know having like a dirty, messed up aged tarot deck is totally cool and totally in. But he's not that like aged, you know, for his age. He's between 15 and 20 years old, and he's looking pretty good. But yeah, Daddy Thoth has been with me since the beginning, pretty much, and yeah, he really never fails. Lots of energy to him. I love working with him. So he's my home base. My other home base is slightly older than him. This one's also aged really well. This is my RWS, and I use this one a lot too. Okay, so let's go through the non-traditional decks that are my favorite for 2022, and I will probably be working with in different capacities a lot. Now, again, online, I think I'm mostly using Thoth deck. That's the main deck that I teach. That's the main deck that my tarot school is based off of for the most part. I mean, I can kill it with RWS, and we can like really go down the wormhole there too, but it seems that the Thoth deck is the thing that most people are having more trouble with and least amount of access to in terms of what's out there. So that's what I've been really focusing on. But yeah, I'm gonna go through some decks, some of my favorite decks, and just kind of give you some ideas and whatever. Let's get into it. My first one I want to talk about is not a tarot deck, and I don't really mess with oracle decks. I'm like, with tarot decks, I'm very picky. With oracle decks, I'm extremely picky. Like, you need a damn good oracle deck for it to be on my table. And I gotta say, the Oracularium by Neil Kelso and Andrea Asti is just so freaking cool. It is so cute, but also like deep. Oh wait, where is he? Oh, he's over here. Yeah, everything about this deck is just cool. Like, I have a crush on like every character in this deck, and I probably follow most of them on social media. So if you're watching and you're in this deck, hey. And it goes crazy with VR. It's like a whole nother level. It's really like, I love Neil, and Neil's brilliant. He's literally a genius. He wears so many damn hats. He's like a complete Renaissance man. Magic, piano, music, tarot, so many things. You know, stage magic, theater. Oh my God, he's brilliant. So smart and such a kind soul. And Andrea, I don't know Andrea as well, but Andrea's cute. Andrea's art is amazing. I actually saw one of his earlier decks in the shop once, and I was super connected to it, and some of the images followed me around in my mind, and I didn't know it was his, and then I found out it was his later on. Isn't that cool how that happens? Like, you'll connect with an artist's work, and then you'll realize who that is, and then other things will connect over time. But yeah, this deck is badass. It's like so interesting, and there's a lot of material that goes with it, and things you can do with VR, and reading methods, and a bunch of stuff. So I highly recommend checking this out, especially if you want to break from tarot and you want something more kind of loose and open. It's a whole vibe. The reason why these decks in this video are so amazing, why they're my favorite decks for 2022, is because almost all of them have a world. Meaning, I judge an artist. I used to be a choreographer, and I used to do a bunch of shows in New York and all that, and I always recognize a good artist because their work would be their world. And you could usually, I feel like a good artist can be easily identified just by their work, even if you don't see their name anywhere or it's not signed. Like, you can tell it's their world because they have a damn world. They have an authentic ass world that they've channeled and they're bringing into this world. And every one of these decks does that. So my next deck is by Emma Zhang, and this one is the Dream Vision Tarot. This one I literally just recently unpacked today, actually, and I already love it. It's already one of my favorite decks of 2022. It's a whole vibe, it's a whole world, and yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I love her style. She's super sweet, super intuitive, very talented, and yeah, I highly recommend it. It really is a whole vibe, and borderless, and yeah, gilded edges. Love the colors, love the gradients, love the form, and love, yeah, the meanings of the cards are just really well, you know, put there. Like, the meanings of the cards are there in a smart and but also very subtle way. It's cool. Next up is, I probably have to say, one of my favorite living tarot artists of all time, and that is Pixel Occult. And Pixel Occult gifted me this edition of the Neon Moon Tarot. Neon Moon Tarot deck is honestly my soul deck. Like, it just, it's my whole fantasy. Like, the cyberpunk, post-apocalyptic, queer realness of this deck, and the color scale. I don't like a lot of color, you know, so it's like, it's just like, I think they use like 3 or 4 colors in the whole deck, but oh my god, it is just the whole fantasy, and it's just so well done. And their art style, it's like kind of comic booky, but queer, but also like mature, but badass. Like, it's just so good. I have more than one tattoo of Pixel Occult's artwork on my body, I'll just say that. I guess number 4 would be the Modern Way Tarot. I really am digging the Modern Way Tarot. I like the starkness of the color. It's like I like the clarity of the cards. I like that it's genderless. I like that it's kind of faceless. So these people could be anyone. And I love how it upholds the traditional symbolism of RWS, but also bringing it into a whole new vibe. So it's really cool. This deck reads like butter. Like, I brought it to a couple of events, and it was just like bop, bop, bop. It knew exactly. Sometimes I take a deck, I'll like just get a deck, and I'll be like, all right, let's see what you can do. And I'll just bring it right to an event or right to a client and just see what it's made of. And this deck was flawless. Like, every reading. And the clients connected with it too, because the images are so clear. So yeah, I really like this deck. It's great. And finally, my last deck that I'm most excited about, the old deck, is the Cosmic Tarot. So this was the second deck I ever got. And yeah, it's just been making its way back into my flow, I guess. You know what? I don't know why, but I think I'm consciously recognizing why now. Because being over the past year or so, tarot and esoteric and all this stuff has become really the forefront of my life, like spiritually in my own personal journey, but also like professionally. Like, it's pretty much what I do all the time. Literally every waking moment I'm doing something for Tarot Mysticism Academy, which I'm happy about because I friggin' love it. But I knew when I was at a young age, when I was looking at all my tarot decks and all my occult books and shit, and I was like, I don't know why I'm into this stuff, but I think one day I'll know why. And I think now I do, because it's what I do. It's freaking awesome. But this was the second deck I ever got when I was like 10 or however old I was. And it's a whole vibe. Like, it's a beautiful deck. I don't know. It's I love the colors. They're kind of like pastel-y, which is not normally my thing, but they're also, it's like detailed. But yeah, there's a lot of content, lots of layers in this one, and yeah, highly recommend. So yeah, those are my top, well, I guess 6 if you count Thoth and RWS. My top 6 tarot decks for 2022. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your favorite. Let me know what you have your eye on. And yeah, I will see you in the next wormhole. Oh my god, I totally forgot one deck. The Red Hand Lenormand by Pixel Occult is so sick, and I use it a lot for clients especially. And it's clear, and it's totally in Pixel Occult style. And yeah, I just love it. It's badass, it's dark, it's kind of gothic. It's like, you know what the deck totally reminds me of? Mangekyo Sharingan, right? Does anyone watch Naruto? Remember when Itachi does Mangekyo Sharingan and then you're in this like torturous realm for a long ass time? vary that, the red and the black and the white and stuff. Yeah, this deck reads like butter, like really clear, amazing deck. Yeah, everything Pixel Occult does is amazing. Cool. All right, let me know your thoughts. Contemplate, cognize, and comment your thoughts below, and I'll see you in the next wormhole. Much love.